There comes a point in your life when you realize that excuses don't move you forward. They only keep you stuck in the same place year after year. 2026 isn't waiting for anyone. Excuses build walls and effort breaks them. Every time you choose an excuse over action, you quietly place another brick between yourself and your goal. You may not notice it at first. It feels small, harmless, even reasonable. But brick by brick, day by day, that wall grows taller until one day it blocks your view of the very thing you said you wanted. Excuses feel comforting because they protect your ego. They give you a reason to stay where it's safe. They whisper that you're doing the best you can, that it's not your fault, that life has made things too hard. But the truth is, every time you make an excuse, you reinforce the limits that keep you stuck, and those limits become your prison. Effort, on the other hand, doesn't just chip away at that wall, it destroys it. Every act of discipline, every time you show up when you don't feel like it, every time you push through the discomfort, you remove a brick. The wall begins to crack. You start to see the light on the other side. It's not glamorous. It's not instant. But effort always wins because effort builds momentum, and momentum is unstoppable once it starts rolling. Excuses drain your energy. Effort multiplies it. When you choose effort over excuses, you turn obstacles into opportunities and weakness into strength. People often think success is about talent or luck, but it's not. It's about effort. The kind of effort that doesn't wait for perfect conditions. Excuses are born from the desire to avoid pain. Effort is born from the decision to grow through it. One keeps you stuck in the same cycle, wishing for change. The other forces you to earn it. You can't climb the wall built by your own excuses while still holding on to them. You have to let them go, brick by brick, by replacing every "I can't" with "I'll try," and every "maybe later" with "right now." There's a reason people who grind through difficulty end up stronger. They've learned to stop building walls with their words. They don't justify failure. They learn from it. They don't hide behind reasons. They find results. The truth is, your life will always give you reasons to make excuses. You'll always be tired, busy, uncertain, afraid. But effort doesn't care about conditions. Effort only cares about progress. The ones who change their lives are not the ones who had fewer challenges. They're the ones who refuse to let those challenges become their excuses. Every time you choose effort, you make a statement that you want it more than you fear it. And that's when transformation begins. You can't grow behind walls. Growth happens in the open, where you face your fears, fail forward, and keep going. Excuses tell you that you're protecting yourself. Effort proves that you're building yourself. The wall you've built can be torn down. It's not permanent. But it requires honesty. It requires you to admit that you've been standing behind your own limitations. Once you accept that, you can start swinging the hammer of effort with both hands. Excuses may have built your past, but effort can rebuild your future. Every day, you have a choice to keep adding to the wall that keeps you confined, or to start breaking through it. The work won't be easy. The pain won't disappear. But on the other side of that wall is everything you've been waiting for. And the only way to reach it is to stop explaining why you can't and start proving that you can. Your circumstances are not your chains. They do not define you. They do not limit you. And they do not determine how far you can go unless you let them. Too often people mistake their situation for a sentence. They believe that because they were born in struggle, they must live in struggle. They convince themselves that because they faced hardship, success isn't meant for them. But that's not truth, it's conditioning. Your circumstances are only the environment in which your strength is tested, not the prison that confines it. Every great success story begins with someone who refused to let their situation become their excuse. Life isn't fair, and it never will be. Some people start with more, some with less. But fairness has never been a requirement for greatness. The person who rises from difficult beginnings learns something the comfortable never do. They learn resilience. They learn how to fight when nothing is promised. They learn to create opportunities instead of waiting for them. Your circumstances may shape your journey, but they don't decide your destination. You do. The moment you stop blaming your past, your upbringing, or your environment, you take your power back. You stop being a victim of circumstance and start becoming the architect of your future. It's easy to point fingers, to say you didn't have the support, the money, the time, or the chances others had. It feels fair to blame the world for not making it easier. But the truth is, no one is coming to rescue you. No one is obligated to hand you a better life. It's your responsibility to create it. Circumstances are temporary, choices are permanent. Every decision you make either strengthens your chains or shatters them. Every time you choose persistence over pity, you weaken the hold that your situation has on you. The most powerful people in history didn't rise because life was easy. They rose because life was hard. They used their pain as fuel. They took the very things that were meant to break them and built something from them. That's the power of perspective. When you stop seeing your circumstances as a burden and start seeing them as training, what you go through prepares you for what you're meant to do. Every challenge, every rejection, every failure is molding you into someone stronger, wiser, and hungrier than before. If you wait for your circumstances to change before you take action, you'll wait forever. The truth is, your life changes when you change your attitude toward it. You may not control what happens to you, but you always control what you do next. You can either complain about the storm or learn how to navigate through it. The world doesn't owe you comfort. It gives you challenge so you can grow. You don't find strength in ease. You find it in resistance. Your circumstances are only as heavy as the meaning you attach to them. Some people see obstacles and quit. Others see the same obstacles and climb higher. The difference is mindset. The ones who win stop asking, why me? And start asking, what can I learn from this? That shift changes everything. Because once you believe that your circumstances can't hold you, they lose their power. You realize that your strength isn't built by avoiding difficulty, but by enduring it with purpose. You were never meant to be trapped by where you started. You were meant to grow beyond it. The environment around you might have limits, but the potential within you doesn't. Every step you take in defiance of your circumstances breaks another invisible chain. You don't need perfect conditions to succeed. You just need the courage to move forward despite them. The moment you stop allowing your surroundings to dictate your story, you begin writing your own. Your circumstances may be the setting, but they are not the author. You are. Discipline over comfort is the choice that separates those who dream from those who achieve. Comfort feels good in the moment, but it costs you your progress. Discipline often feels painful in the moment, but it builds the foundation for everything lasting. Every time you choose comfort, you trade long-term success for short-term satisfaction. Every time you choose discipline, you sacrifice ease for excellence. Life will always offer you two paths: the easy one that leads nowhere, and the difficult one that takes you somewhere worth going. The one you choose consistently defines who you become. Comfort is seductive because it whispers, "You've done enough." It tells you to rest before you've earned it. It convinces you that tomorrow will be a better day to start. But tomorrow rarely arrives for those who live in comfort. Comfort is the quiet thief of potential. It doesn't destroy your goals in one blow. It erodes them over time. It lulls you into complacency, makes you settle for good enough, and blinds you to how far you could actually go. The people who live for comfort spend their lives surviving instead of thriving. They live with the regret of never knowing what might have been if they had just pushed a little harder. Discipline is different. Discipline doesn't care how you feel. It only cares that you show up. It's the voice that tells you to keep going when your body says stop. It's waking up when the alarm rings, even when your bed feels like the safest place on earth. It's working on your craft when no one's watching, when no one's cheering, when it feels like no progress is being made. Discipline is doing what's necessary, not what's convenient. It's not glamorous. It's not exciting, but it's the backbone of every victory you'll ever earn. The truth is, discipline gives you freedom. Freedom from regret, from weakness, from the constant frustration of unfulfilled potential. Comfort gives you momentary relief, but it traps you in cycles of disappointment. Every small act of discipline builds confidence, and every small surrender to comfort builds doubt. When you train yourself to choose discipline consistently, you stop negotiating with laziness. You stop waiting for motivation. You simply act because it's who you've become. The habit of showing up, no matter what, transforms you into someone unstoppable. People often chase motivation, thinking it will get them through the hard days. But motivation is temporary. It comes and goes with your emotions. Discipline is permanent. It's the structure you build so you can move forward even when motivation disappears. The most successful people aren't the most inspired. They're the most consistent. They've learned to do it tired, do it uninspired, do it frustrated, but do it anyway. They've learned that greatness is not found in bursts of effort, but in relentless repetition. Discipline hurts, but so does regret. The difference is that discipline's pain is temporary, while regret's pain lasts forever. Comfort tells you that you're okay where you are. Discipline tells you that you're capable of more. And that's the truth most people run from. Because discipline demands accountability, and accountability strips away excuses. Comfort lets you hide behind reasons. Discipline forces you to face your results. Every time you choose discipline, you prove to yourself that your goals mean more than your impulses. There will be days when it feels easier to quit, when your mind and body crave rest, when you question if it's even worth it. But that's when discipline matters most. Because discipline isn't about doing what's easy. It's about doing what's right. It's not about perfection. It's about persistence. The road to success is paved with discomfort, and those who embrace it go further than those who avoid it. Comfort might give you peace now, but discipline gives you pride later. And in the end, that pride, that sense of accomplishment, is what makes all the discomfort worthwhile. The time is now, not someday. Every dream you have, every goal you've written down, every vision that keeps you awake at night, it all depends on what you do now, not on what you promise to do later. Someday is a comfortable illusion, a soft word that disguises procrastination as patience. It convinces you that you'll act when things settle, when the timing is better, when life feels easier. But life never gets easier, time never slows down, and the perfect moment never arrives. The truth, waiting is the quietest form of self-sabotage. You're not waiting for the right time. You're waiting for fear to disappear, and it never will. You either move now or you risk never moving at all. The world is filled with people who said, someday. Someday they'd start that business, write that book, change their habits, chase their dreams. But someday became months, then years, then a lifetime of regret. Time doesn't wait for you to feel ready. It moves whether you act or not. The people who achieve the most aren't the ones who have it all figured out. They're the ones who take messy, uncertain action when everything still feels unclear. They understand that progress doesn't come from waiting. It comes from beginning. The first step is always the hardest, but it's also the most important, because once you start, momentum takes over. Every second you hesitate, someone else is working. Every day you delay, your dream fades a little more. You tell yourself you'll start when you're motivated, but motivation isn't the cause of action. It's the result of it. The longer you wait, the weaker your desire becomes. The more you act, the stronger it grows. Waiting feels safe, but it's the most dangerous decision you can make. Time is the one thing you'll never get back. Every moment wasted is a moment you could have used to build, grow, and change your life. The time is now because the present is the only thing that's real. Yesterday is gone, tomorrow isn't promised, and someday doesn't exist. You only have this moment right now to make a choice, to take the first step, to make the call, to start the work. You don't need perfect conditions. You need courage. You don't need all the answers. You need faith in yourself to figure them out along the way. Success doesn't wait for perfect timing. It rewards consistent action. Those who move now create opportunities, while others are still planning them. Fear will always try to convince you to wait. It will whisper that you're not ready, that you'll fail, that it's too late or too early. But fear is a liar. The only real failure is never starting. Every great achievement began as an act of defiance against hesitation. You don't need to see the whole path. Just take the first step. The rest reveals itself only to those who move. Action breeds clarity. Waiting breeds confusion. The time is now because the future you want is built in the present. You can't build tomorrow with intentions. You build it with decisions. You can plan forever. You can prepare endlessly. But none of it matters until you begin. The truth is, no one ever feels ready. No one ever starts at the perfect time. And no one ever reaches success without a little chaos in the beginning. What separates winners from wishers is the decision to act despite uncertainty. Every second you spend thinking about what could go wrong is a second taken away from making something go right. There will never be another moment exactly like this one. Every breath you take is a chance to change your story, to step closer to the life you want, to prove to yourself that you're not waiting anymore. Someday is the word that kills dreams, but no is the word that builds them. You don't need another reason. You've had enough of those. You need action. The time is now because later is already too late. Results don't respect excuses. The world doesn't pause to listen to your reasons. It doesn't stop to hear why it was too hard, why you didn't have enough time, why things didn't go as planned. It only sees what you've done, not what you meant to do. Excuses might make you feel justified for a moment, but they never move you forward. Results, on the other hand, are undeniable. They are the proof of effort, the evidence of sacrifice, and the reward for consistency. You can talk about how difficult your circumstances are, how unfair life has been, or how tired you feel, but results don't respond to explanations. They respond to execution. When you look at someone who's made it, you can be sure they had every reason to quit. Every achiever has faced setbacks, distractions, and disappointments. The difference is that they didn't allow those moments to become excuses. They turned their obstacles into lessons, their pain into power, and their struggle into strength. They understood that excuses protect your comfort, but they destroy your progress. The moment you start justifying why you can't, you stop believing that you can. That's how potential dies, not from failure, but from endless rationalization. The truth is, the results you want are earned, not explained. You can't talk your way to success, you have to work your way there. Excuses are easy because they allow you to stay comfortable. They give you a story to tell yourself when things get hard. But success doesn't care about your story. It only measures your consistency, your persistence, and your ability to do what needs to be done even when you don't feel like it. Excuses may sound logical, even convincing, but they don't change reality. The scoreboard doesn't care about your reasons. It only reflects your performance. Every time you make an excuse, you trade growth for relief. You delay progress just to feel better in the moment. But that temporary relief costs you long-term fulfillment. It keeps you trapped in the same cycle, wanting more, but never acting enough. Results don't come from wishing or waiting. They come from showing up again and again until you get it right. You can't fake effort, and you can't hide behind excuses forever. Because eventually the results, or the lack of them, will speak louder than anything you say. The harsh truth is that life rewards action, not explanation. You can have all the potential in the world, but if you spend your time defending your inaction, that potential means nothing. No one remembers the person who almost did it, who almost tried, who almost succeeded. They remember the ones who pushed through, who stayed committed, who refused to let excuses define them. Effort leaves a mark that excuses never will. Excuses are seductive because they shift responsibility. They let you blame the situation, the people around you, or the timing instead of facing the truth. But the moment you stop making excuses, you regain control. You realize that your life is shaped by your choices, not your challenges. Every excuse you drop becomes a piece of energy you can redirect toward action. The energy you once wasted explaining why you couldn't can now be used to prove that you can. Results are ruthless. They don't lie, they don't bend, and they don't sympathize. They reveal your habits and your commitment. You can't negotiate with results. You either have them or you don't. And when you finally understand that, you stop wasting time defending your shortcomings and start building your outcomes. At the end of the day, no one will remember your reasons. They'll remember your results. They won't ask how hard it was. They'll see what you built despite the hardship. Excuses fade into the background, but results stand forever. You owe it to yourself to stop explaining your effort and start proving it. Because the truth is simple. Results don't respect excuses, but they will always respect execution.